Welcome, everyone, to the Commentary Podcast. I am your host, Pat Brennan. Today on the podcast, we are going to be watching Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds. It was released in 2005. It was written by Jason Friedman and David Koepp, directed by Steven Spielberg, and it stars Tom Cruise, Dakota Fanning, Miranda Otto, and Tim Robbins, and it's narrated by Morgan Freeman. It follows an American dock worker who must look after his children, from whom he lives separately, as he struggles to protect them and reunite them with their mother when extraterrestrials invade Earth and devastate cities with giant war machines. Joining me on the podcast today is one of my best friends from my childhood, Mike Welsh. He was actually in town this weekend visiting, and couldn't think of a better guest to have for this episode. We both love this movie. We grew up watching this movie, and we had a great conversation. Loved doing it with him, and he'll be on the podcast many times. Now, I'm going to be watching the 4K copy I have of this movie, but you can find it streaming on Netflix. It's currently also streaming on Paramount Plus. You can rent it on Apple TV for $4, and on Amazon for $4, and on Vudu for $4 as well. So I say we don't waste any more time. I am going to be pressing play on War of the Worlds in 3, 2, and 1. Hello, Michael.
Pat, how's it going?
You know, it's going. We're watching one of my favorite movies ever.
I'm excited. This is a convergence of a couple of my favorite things: space, aliens, and Tom Cruise in an action movie.
Tom Cruise running around. Steven Spielberg. How many times do you think I saw this in theaters?
Probably an unnatural number of times.
I saw it 9 times.
Yeah, that's absurd.
Why did I see this movie 9 times in theaters? I was obsessed with it.
Any sort of sci-fi movie, when it incorporates extraterrestrials, I'm a sucker.
Yeah. I think this is around the time that too, like I was starting to get more into movies. And then I went to back to watch like Steven Spielberg movies because I was like, I really loved this movie. So, who's Steven Spielberg?
Steven Spielberg, I saw a post recently on Instagram ranking him, between him and Christopher Nolan, as the most successful prominent director of all time. There was a couple names that were way far down on the list.
Yeah, I could see that. Definitely now, Nolan is more of the probably best director right now. But overall, everyone knows who Steven Spielberg is. Like, even if you don't watch movies. Like, I know the name Steven Spielberg. I think this is all, like, stock footage that they just used. That's LA right there. I mean, you can't go wrong with Morgan Freeman narrating something. Impending doom, Morgan Freeman voice.
He can make anything sound like you're either ascending into heaven or about to meet your maker in the worst sort of way.
It's kind of interesting. It makes it look like an eye.
That is interesting, yeah. Like a cornea right in the center there.
Mm-hmm. War of the Worlds. Here we go. The war is coming.
Are you ready for it?
Tom Cruise. The helicopter shot to him. Should now be a drone. I don't use helicopters anymore. Rarely. He's probably was psycho and probably was like, I'm going to lift these myself.
You just read my mind.
He's like, I got it. Don't worry.
Knowing Tom Cruise, he spent 6 months getting a crane certification. Completely inefficient, but totally authentic.
He's like, Steven, I got it. I got it. Don't worry. He's like, Tom, you don't have to do this. Takes skill, man.
Those folks make a pretty healthy living, believe it or not,
Yeah.
as they should.
Hard work. Damn, 40 containers in an hour. You think he's like the number one in the nation? It's like rankings. It's him, Ray Fair at the top.
40's a lot. This is coming from somebody who has no idea
Yeah.
how many
I
is
mean,
a
I
lot.
feel like a one would be a lot. Like,
I could screw one up pretty good, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Call it a day after that. Drop it right into the bay. Right into the Hudson
just like
in this case.
he just drifted into his driveway from the traffic circle. That's a great look. Like, ugh. So Spielberg wanted to cast her, Miranda Otto, but she was pregnant. So they were like, oh. So they rewrote the entire character for her to be pregnant in the movie. So she's actually pregnant right there. It's not like a prosthetic or anything.
It's impressive. To do a movie while pregnant. To be working while pregnant in general.
Here's your angsty teenager. Ugh, I hate the world. This is like the height of crazy Tom Cruise.
In the beginning of that little one there. Absolute prodigy.
Which is crazy because her sister is bigger than she is now.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I think she stopped acting to go to like school. Dakota Fanning. I mean, she was the star in like the 2000s, the child star. Working with Spielberg at like 10, 11.
Not too bad. You built quite a resume
Yeah.
early on in your double-digit years.
Can't go wrong. Who's directing the movie? Steven Spielberg. Oh. We can have you sign on to another movie then. Classic. Classic fights. Between divorced people. We have the shot of Dakota Fanning getting scared because they're going to fight again.
You have somewhat of a proverbial war of the worlds here happening right in the household.
Oh, yeah. War of the Words.
War of the words.
Damn.
They cut deep.
That's what it should be called. Sequel.
This reminds me so much of my own life because their age difference between siblings here is very similar to that in my sister.
Like the high schooler.
High school / elementary schooler.
Middle school, elementary school. Like, wants to hang out with you.
Yeah. And my dad was Tom Cruise.
And your dad is Tom Cruise. Also, my name is Mike Cruise. Actually, his last name is Mopather, I think, in real life.
I suppose we should talk about the movie.
No. See? We're talking about Tom Cruise. No. They're not fighting now. Pushing a little closer because it's a little intimate moment there. More intimate conversation. It's great, like how they came in to how they left. They came in arguing, and then they actually had a decent convo to end.
You know, there's a
Which could be, at their minds, the last time they don't know.
a glimmer
What's
of
about
peace.
to come could be the last time they ever interacted with each other. They don't know if they're going to eventually live after this.
Yeah, you drop your kids off at the estranged ex house and you expect, the worst that could happen
Yeah.
is they eat some junk food. Not in this case.
What's to come? Foreshadowing lightning strikes. What are these? I always thought that he like forgot the line there because he like looks at the glove and like hesitates for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball season's over. Oh, here you
Represent.
go.
Represent.
War of the Cities.
Boston in the house.
War of the Cities.
Kid's got an arm. Respect. Tom, that's an actor throw right there.
Yeah, he's not. He doesn't throw very well. Tom Cruise.
There's a thing that you see on TikTok and Instagram of like actors throwing
Actors throwing.
footballs in
Yeah.
particular. It's
That's why they're actors. They're not sports players.
do you ever like, catches with your dad growing up?
I'm sure. I can't like remember honestly. Did you?
Yes.
Well, you
It
played
was.
baseball,
It was. I
so
did. Yeah.
I didn't play baseball. I played hockey, so it's kind of like different. Oh, that's great. I love this hat spin right here. It's so smooth.
Oh, that was
so
smooth.
smooth. And what a shot. That's great, like costume design. Like like he's rebelling against his father, and just, all you have to do is just put a Red Sox hat on him because his dad's wearing a Yankee hat. They're opposites.
It's endearing seeing the little sister
Mm-hmm.
encourage the dad on how to parent
Yeah,
her older
and
brother
she still
better.
like actually like really loves her dad. Not that the son doesn't, but she like you said, she wants them to like connect, and she wants to connect with her dad. But her dad like he probably sees this as like a chore sometimes.
Which is made evident by his just abrupt nap that he's
Yeah,
just taking in
in
the middle of the
his
day.
jeans. This part always annoyed me because the audio for the SpongeBob episode is off now. In the audio is off. I would always stare at the TV, being like, "This is really annoying."
Like they have like a Inception continuity error, like a continuity
Yeah.
error within a movie.
Like if I were the editor, I'd be like, "Wait, have you guys seen that SpongeBob episode? Because the audio is off."
So any sci-fi or horror film, like I always love the calm before the storm.
Mm-hmm.
Before things actually start going haywire, because
You know it's
something's
coming.
coming.
Yeah.
But what is it? And what's it gonna be? When's it gonna happen? What's it gonna look like?
And nothing's really happening. They're kind of just like hanging out. It's not like, oh, what are we gonna go do later? It's kind of just like they're hanging out.
Yeah,
Which what you do at
character
your house.
development.
What you do at your house, yeah. And he didn't really ever interact with his kids until the mom left.
And for those of your audience who haven't seen this movie yet, spoiler alert. And if you haven't, then you're about 17 years
Too late.
too late. So
I
that's
would
on
assume.
you. But, the character development, this family dynamic is huge
Mm-hmm.
throughout the movie.
How he's like he doesn't know what hummus is essentially. Like he's just like a basic person. Like there's nothing in his fridge. There's just milk. Like he probably just eats like pizza. I love this. The camera turns to look. Everyone with digital cameras. Now it'd just be all phone video. Dude, imagine if you saw that. I'd be like, okay, that's not a thunderstorm. Like, I think we need to like go.
I would be in the basement faster
Yeah.
than you can say abduction.
Like, I think it's time to get out of here. Yeah, I'd be like, you ever see something like that? Why would I see something like that before? There's like a thing circling with a giant like fireball in the middle. Like,
Actually, I saw this.
actually, so this last
Yeah,
week.
2 years ago. Looks like a squall.
Yeah, it'll pass.
This is timely. In today's day and age, I feel like there's so much that's making the press and even being published by Congress around UFOs and
Mm-hmm.
all this kind of stuff. It makes you wonder, one day if we're all going to look up and see something strange, that we're not
Something
going to
in the sky.
understand.
The great Amy Ryan. Only in one scene, right there.
A bit of meteorology there too that Tom Cruise's character delivers. The wind blowing towards the storm is abnormal,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to it blowing away.
Yeah.
Would have never known that. Makes you wonder what his background is beyond just a crane operator on the port.
He does the weather reports from atop the crane operator. And then it just stops. I'd be like, all right, guys, we need to get out of here.
Some heat lightning.
See, Dakota's like, we need to get out of here, dude. This isn't normal.
I certainly wouldn't have a newborn.
Outside with lightning storm.
Interesting choice
But
by
I love
Holly
how
from
you
The
see
Office.
you just see the strikes in the reflection there. Like he's not even showing them yet fully. You just see them up there.
Subtle character development there too. You're seeing Tom Cruise make a natural move to run away without first grabbing for his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to see if that changes throughout the film.
It might. You may be onto something. I love that got. I remember that getting a huge laugh in the theater, of him crawling under the table too. But like, it's good development character. Like, seeing who he is, he doesn't know what to do. Like, he doesn't know how to be a father. But he tries to act all tough there. Like, it's fine, it's fine. But then he's like, oh no, something's going down right now.
Tom Cruise is, I think, underrated for his talent with comedic acting. I think he's a very funny guy when he wants to be.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's a very good actor in general. Like, I think even though how big of a movie star he is, his like actual people just see him as an action like blockbuster star, but his actual like getting down to it acting, he's great.
He's grown a lot too in his career. Obviously, his personal life, I think, fogs a bit of his career in most people's eyes.
Especially at this time. This is
pinnacle.
Pinnacle Scientology crazed Tom Cruise.
This is Earth to Xenu time for Tom.
Because there was a rumor on the set that he tried. I don't know how true this is, but he tried to like convert Spielberg to like be a Scientologist, and because they had done Minority Report together, and they wanted to keep working together. So like, they were gonna make like another movie after this, but they had like a falling out, like because Tom would just be always on the set talking about like Scientology and like how great it is, and Spielberg would just be like, dude, like chill, like stop. So from what I've heard, they had like a falling out, and since then though they've reconciled, and Cruise is actually not like doesn't push that Scientology as much as he used to. Because there's also rumors that he even left Scientology. But we don't need to talk about Scientology anymore.
Again, War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds.
Some would say there's a parallel between Scientology and
this is a great
other religions.
Oh, that's a great slap sound there. Nailed it perfectly.
Vintage Tom Cruise, just frustrated Tom Cruise.
It's not a movie unless Tom Cruise is running around.
So what do you think you're doing at this moment when this happens in the world, where you see a storm like that, you see lightning strike the same place multiple times, you see all these strange things, and everybody's outside seemingly confused.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just that your lights and your power is out, but there seems to be an almost electromagnetic change.
Mm-hmm.
You can't turn on your cars. Your watches don't work. What's going through your head?
It's this is post 9/11, and Spielberg does a lot of references to 9/11 in this. And once this whole next scene comes up, there's a major reference. It's very obvious.
Wow.
But like you were saying, again, they were just living normal lives. Pre 9/11, no one ever thought that would happen. Just something like that happens. And then you saying you're fascinated by what's happening, you're going to go see. Now, you wouldn't. You would be like, I'm out of here. Something's wrong. But nothing's ever happened like this.
That's interesting. You're blowing my mind right now with 9/11 reference from Spielberg. If that's
he says a lot for that. Especially the beginning of this movie is a lot like how the attack just starts here. It just starts and just comes out of nowhere. And you're looking to the sky. Something's in the sky that's attacking. This is my favorite sequences in this entire movie. This is so well directed here. And I always say Spielberg is the best at directing background extras.
Is that something he's well known to be?
I personally think, yeah. Because there's some directors that just aren't very good at it, which is understandable. They're just concentrated on the main actors. But whenever you see group scenes, it's any Spielberg movie, to me, it's he knows what he's doing with the background actors. All that blocking there, all that camera movement, those are all extras. They're not they're getting paid probably $100 to be there.
Well, it's impressive when you consider an extra versus a featured extra, and how easy you could have one person, change
right there,
the dynamic.
You have to have them because this is all CGI. These things breaking up, so he's running along essentially his marks, and then the people there, they all have to fall down at the same time. They're all running around in the background. Everything is exploding at the same time. None of this is there. This is CGI. So you have those obviously sugar glass would break there. This probably took a lot of rehearsal for
And all it takes is one extra
to be running around.
And I'm sure certain
run into
might
Tom
even
Cruise.
depending upon how the casting call worked, some might even look to sabotage a shot.
Yeah. But if I were, I would actually tell an extra to maybe I would pull him aside and be maybe run into him just to see his, because that's what would happen. You're just running into each other. You don't know where to go. What's happening? Run into Tom. See what he does.
And now you're seeing just essentially a tectonic shift.
Yeah. They're probably this is a massive sinkhole. But then you see this. I'd be dude, I am out of here.
I'd be hightailing it the other direction. Yeah. You would not see my face. You'd see my back for as long as I could run.
Great shot there.
Yeah, now they're getting the picture. Nope. See, that's still...
There's a sweet slide there, though, behind the car.
That's extra right there. That's... It's giving Alien.
Mm. And Spielberg also, like, I guess originally they were going to have the aliens invading from space. But he was like, we've seen that done so many times. Like, that's just boring. Like, what if they were already here? These machines were already here. What if they were just buried? Again, a different alien. Like, the aliens had been planning this forever.
Spoiler alert.
Well, I assume people watching this have maybe seen the movie. It only came out, like you said, 15 years ago. I don't know.
This
18 years ago.
this does beg the question again of, if you saw this in real life, would you have the even courage to run, or would you be so awestruck and in shock that you couldn't do anything but stare at it?
Both. Like, at this point, you don't know what's going on. You everyone would be doing this. Like, that just came out from underground.
I like to think I'd be running.
I love the music. Just a massive tripod. Like, what if you were just like in a house like down there, being like, "What is that?"
Street sweeping.
So this is our new street sweeper. He's a sick leather jacket on, Tom. Again, you're still fascinated, so you still go look. Like you were saying.
Yeah, could you have the courage to look? Wouldn't want to be standing under it for that
No,
shower
like,
of
what is all that?
debauchery.
We're just gearing up.
The stance is predatorial
Oh,
of
yeah.
that machine.
And it's just looking
I think
around.
even innately you'd know that you're in danger.
Here it comes. Like, just immediately, like, attack. I just love this camera work here.
You're seeing people just turn into mist in front
Mm-hmm.
of you. It's an oddly, when you think about it though, for such a theoretical technology, it's an oddly directed weapon. It's not a
Mm-hmm.
sweeping fan of energy. It's like a very pointed, one person at a time type weapon, which is kind of odd.
Mm-hmm.
Very personal.
So, like, 9/11 references there, like, the people watching the towers collapsing of them all running, all that dust,
Mm.
all the dust on him here is very 9/11. Like, when he gets back to the house, I'll show you the scene. It's basically like him referencing, like, 9/11 survivor victims.
Wow. I would have never known that, though, of course, can understand the parallel to
Mm-hmm.
terror.
Just pure terror. But I always loved the effect that they did of, like, when the people were zapped, like, their clothes just flew in the air. Like, their clothes didn't get zapped. It was just their skin, like their actual body.
A true, like, energy directed
Yeah.
weapon of some sort.
Like, it's an
Yeah.
interesting way to, like, have them instead of just, oh, they just immediately die. It's like, what if they themselves die, but their clothes just, like, float into the air. So again, like, the shock of what's happening. He's covered in the dust of the victims. Like, a lot of 9/11, if you watch, like, footage from that day, they acted like this. They were just so in shock, they don't know what's going on. And then they realize, like, oh, I have, like, dust on me. Like, this is like a very much on the nose reference to 9/11.
Wow.
Because you would do the same thing. You'd be like, I'm covered in like, because then the shock hits you like, and he comes out like, we need to get the hell out of here. Like, we need to go.
Shock is certainly a powerful thing, something you'd feel in this and in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to now translate that fear into a tactical plan, like we need to leave this house in 60 seconds.
60 seconds.
That's not an easy thing to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate the handheld camera here.
Mm-hmm. We kind of switched to like make it more kind of like, again, handheld because it's terror. Like handheld, it's like more frantic.
At that point, when I grab that gun, I'm honestly thinking it might need to be used more domestically than against the aliens.
Mm-hmm. And he probably thinking that as well, because once something like this happens, it's almost every man for himself.
Yeah.
Because there's no set.
The world just changed.
Yeah. There's no set, like, again, the world just changed, like 9/11. The world just changed.
Mm-hmm.
In the span of 1 minute. She's so good with, like, panic terror acting. Like, doesn't know what's going on.
Even in that, though, that represents her maturity, that in this moment, she's still cognizant of the fact that this is Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. Yeah. Tom's been playing Grand Theft Auto. Supposed to be like San Andreas at this point. Like, if you're like, what?
See, and look at the older brother is still...
He's just like, he's in shock.
He's
like,
still in shock.
Yeah, just been like, what is going on? Just whoop. It's like, damn. Again, that the terrorists.
Yeah.
Wow. They don't know what it is.
Wow.
Like, yeah.
I have heard that line before watching this, and I never really, I guess, would have correlated that. But now, after everything you've said,
that shot
makes total sense.
That shot of the entire bridge, like, essentially exploding, like, looks better than some movies today. That'd be terrifying. Imagine, like, driving, like, looking that in the rearview mirror, being like, oh my god, you're just pedal to the metal flooring it.
That traffic jam was very conveniently organized.
Yeah, whenever I watch this, can't tell you how many times I've seen this, but I always like this scene. Always like makes me laugh because it's like it's so perfect for him to drive everywhere, like perfectly. And then this would be like an actual like conversation, like you all be screaming in the car, like what the fuck is going on, like. And you'd be like, shut up. Like, I'm trying to think.
Yeah. I mean, chaos. Mm-hmm. Like, it brings out the animal in you.
Mm-hmm. Terrorist reference again. Because at that point, like anything like that happens, like it has to be terrorists.
Mm-hmm. You don't know what's going on for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't be sure.
I mean, this whole scene's like very well put together. Like the camera movements of the car, like.
So is this camera mounted on the front and the hood of this car?
They're probably essentially on a sound stage. and the camera's just moving around it, and they got green screen all around them.
Okay, so this is not a moving car.
Yeah, no. But they probably intertwined, like, they probably filmed like someone actually driving through this, and they projected in the back. Because I mean, his like driving does not line up correctly with where they're on the road.
That's a good point. Yeah.
But it's interesting, like he brings the camera outside as opposed to the immediate scene before the camera was inside the car. Because you're leaving with them, but now it's kind of like you're on the journey now with them. You were getting in the car too. So then you'd have a cut right there to the actual cut there. So it's very well edited, put together. Like that's a lot of directing.
That was
like,
a seamless cut.
You know what you're getting out of that scene. Like that's probably been storyboarded. Like this entire dialogue is all in this car, driving fast, essentially, going in and out. Nice house.
Suburban folk are not aware of
They got electricity here still.
the day in the city.
Yeah.
Most folks
I feel like you probably would be like, just turn every news channel would switch to aliens are attacking.
Flash forward to today, I don't even have cable. All of my news comes through the form of social media.
Yeah.
Like, so
That's how you
if
would get
people
it,
were
yeah.
not posting it or not sharing it, I wouldn't know. I'd be sitting
Or
on
if you're in an
the couch.
area with no cell service at that moment, like say you're like hiking a national park, you have no idea what's going on. They were never here yet. They left all of their lights on. Literally.
How irresponsible from an electricity demand standpoint. I mean,
I guess they're rich, so I guess their electric bill doesn't matter to them.
so here you still see the separation between father and daughter.
Him trying to be a parent because he heard his son.
He's making an effort, and it's being denied.
So it's like he's listening, but he's like he doesn't know how to be the dad. Just bran flakes. I'm sure there's food there. They left all the electricity on. There's probably some food in the fridge.
Again, still trying to de-escalate the situation.
One for the house.
Tin lid to the peanut butter. I'm used to like chunky or skippy.
But again,
Jif.
like, he's using like a wooden. There's clearly like a knife somewhere. Like this is his. He doesn't know how to do anything essentially.
That's how you know it's better peanut butter, when it's a little bit more runny like that.
I know. I was gonna say it's like very runny peanut butter. I mean, they probably had it out for a long time.
It's not that sugary processed
Well, it's probably
stuff.
I could see them like even like melting a little bit, so it's easier for him to pull out. It's a great toss right here. Great toss to get it to stick.
One take, 2 takes.
That's probably one. I mean, he put enough on that, and then you would just have it like you'd set it up there, so then have it slide down. But see, when he's actually giving parental advice, he's not even looking at them.
It's a reflection.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the window into his soul. It's not quite reality yet. He's not quite able to bridge the gap.
Like actually speak of that to their face.
But he's trying.
I mean, at this moment, you have to be the greatest parent in the world. An alien invasion. I mean, they don't know what it is.
Certainly makes you think it might be useful to have a pack and ready to go bag stored at your house, If you had to drop everything in a moment's notice,
go.
it would be nice to have a bag somewhere in the house that has
some provisions.
Mm-hmm.
His pack and go bag was the gun. There it is. There's that Spielberg backlight.
The lightning is back.
This sound design here is incredible. It sounds like screams. Right there. It sounds like a scream.
Ooh, yeah, that was unsettling.
Mm-hmm. But again, if you don't show it, like knowing what's coming, you know it's a plane. But if you don't show it, like you just all you're hearing is these noises, like he's never heard these sounds before, like something that they've never heard any of this. They don't know what to do. Like we don't know what to do. Like our life, nothing's ever happened this massive in our lives. I love how he goes for the gun. Like he needs the gun there.
Well, in that situation, it's like every moment could be a series of little mini evacuations,
Mm-hmm.
and you need to.
Who knows what's gonna happen once that door opens again?
Right. Might want to keep that gun on your person at all times.
Ugh, I can't see shit. They're gonna have some back problems today. Sleeping on like a concrete like that.
I question the ability to even fall asleep.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like the first day you're gonna be up for like at least 24 hours. Like there's no way you're sleeping. And then you're just gonna be exhausted and you'll probably fall asleep for like 12 hours. They still have this
I think I would have.
This set is the universal backlot here.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Like they took it. It's still on the lot. Like the plane.
Oh, kind of
So when you do
memorialized.
When you do like
there?
the backlot tour, yeah, it's like this is the plane from War of the Worlds. Like this is the universal backlot.
Oh, you said this earlier. Plane. I've seen this movie several times, and I had forgotten that
It was the
that
plane,
was
yeah.
a plane crash.
It's like, did the lightning bring it down, or did the aliens shoot it down?
Hmm.
Yeah, if you ever take the universal backlot tour in Hollywood, they have this plane here still.
That's one lucky passenger right there.
Well, he's not actually a passenger.
Oh, I was gonna say, makes me want to upgrade to Comfort Plus at my next flight.
They're gonna get a stern letter from me later. He's like part of the camera crew.
Okay, so he's not a silver medallion member.
He was in the bathroom the whole time.
There's gonna be some turbulence, folks. Please fasten your seatbelts. Stow your tray tables.
There's an alien tripod in front of me, so I'm gonna have to try and go around this little bumpy ride here. Another Hiroshima. Another like Matt reference to like a catastrophic event.
Hmm.
I think Spielberg said that like he wanted every character essentially in this movie to be always in survival mode. Like even this camera crew, they're always in survival mode. Because he wanted
Well,
it to be like the American dream is you never give up on anything.
yeah, that parallel makes sense. Also, in this instance, I mean, you're essentially invoking the apocalypse,
Mm-hmm.
where the only thing to do now is
Survive.
survive.
It's every man for himself, man or woman. I always thought that was not a very good line reading from Tom there. I was right in the middle of one of those. Damn, these camera crews got high frame rates. Be able to
This was always my favorite part of the film because this is its own mini origin story that
Well, now
shows you.
he's seeing what it actually is. It's like it's aliens. It's not any other thing that's on Earth that's doing this. I love this little bit here. Were you on that plane? No. Oh, yeah. Would have been a good story. Shuts the door on him. Like doesn't say, "Hey, do you want to come with us?" And like, but just again, survival.
Well, it's interesting because that's also like her clinging to what was her world
Yeah,
just a mere
she's always still being a
hours.
reporter.
Yeah, it was a mere hours
Yeah.
before her world was stripped from her, and that's just clinging to that
Mm-hmm.
that sense of reality, which is now no longer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your entire existence becomes resource gathering and survival. Very
There's no
back to the
like,
primitive
there's no like
start.
laws at this. Like, there's no laws. Like, you're not following any sort of government document how to handle this situation. It's fuck that. I'm out of here, man.
Love that. Get in.
Get in.
Get in the car.
Yeah.
Stop looking around. Get in.
See, and his survival instinct is like, it's like, why aren't we going on the turnpike? He's like, because we are the only ones that have a working car. People are gonna jump us essentially, because we have a car that works. Again, foreshadowing to a few scenes later when that happens.
Mm.
Sir, Mr. Fairy. I also love the costume design that they did too. Like they're so like, ugh, like we
Hmm.
hate everything, and she's just so colorful in the middle of them. She's like the mediator. She calls him dad. So he's always like on the. He's trying to give them like advice. Like you gotta always remember, like people are gonna do shit that's
Well, this moment
needed for their
actually,
survival.
to your point, that moment there, just going back for a second, albeit tough parenting, when he kind of lashes out at his son, I see that as being his first step towards being a real father.
Mm-hmm. And his
Tough,
son's like
tough
listening
love.
to him. His son's listening to him.
Yeah,
Like,
tough love. But in this case, there's got to be a leader,
yeah,
and
he has to be the dad.
that feedback loop is about to become very real when they venture off onto their own
Yep.
after kind of disobeying slash disagreeing with what he's saying, and then there's that.
Terrifying. They actually so a lot of obviously these are all like dummies. They lost like two of them. They couldn't find them.
These are dummies.
Yeah, like so they couldn't find two of them and they had floated like really far down the river. And I think like two cops found them because they thought they're like, you would think it's like, oh my god, is that someone like drowned over there? Like two people like
I
So they
like to
had to
think
like
that these are.
try and go find them.
I
I
wish
mean,
that this
that's a
were.
terrifying image. Like,
I wish this were a featured extra position. That's what I would apply for. I would
floating,
like to float on my
floating guy down
stomach
the river, Mike Welsh.
for an extra $1,000. I'll float face down for
Yeah,
the length of this frame.
that's a terrifying image, though. Like, I feel like that scene probably almost gets you an R rating.
Is that true if you show like essentially allude to
I
a
mean,
dead body?
like that's a lot of. Essentially, they're all massive, like massive pile of dead bodies floating by a child. Like,
Allegedly dead.
If
Patrick.
you have any blood in there, that's you probably gets you an R rating. Here you go. Here's your more parenting. He always wants to leave. Because even though like he's not like a good father, like he still like knows what's right. Like, dude, you're not joining the army. Like, you're like 16. And then that's when he really said what he needed to say to his father.
That's a conversation that was needing to happen.
And then right here, what she says,
years.
"Who's gonna take care of me if you go?" Right in front of their father. Like, who's gonna take care of me if you go? Like, and the dad's right there. Great shot. But again, you needed that. The tension was building to a moment, and that was the moment. So now he's trying to like be like a olive branch. Like, why don't you drive?
You got to go through those battles to find the love on the
And
other
he's like,
side
yeah,
sometimes.
I don't have a license, and like, when does that stop you? Remember you stole my car earlier? Like, you can drive. Being the olive branch, trying to be like, and saying like, I still love you, son. Like, you know. And here you go. Here comes your people will do anything once they see something that they don't have and they need. Survival instinct.
Well, I saw just a moment ago the first shopping cart was full of books. It makes you wonder, what were those books? Were they Bibles?
He's maybe collecting books that are important. If everything gets destroyed, some books need to be preserved. Could be Bible. Other religious books. The Lord of the Rings is probably in there. We need to protect it.
We definitely need to have the two towers in here.
But this scene's like so like, again, so well directed in how violent a mob can turn into like this. Just when they see a running car, a very simple thing, a resource. Because you can move faster than they can. I mean, it'll get to a point where Tom's going to run out of gas anyways. Been driving for a while.
Pull up to a gas station. Darn it, full service. No self-pump.
Only diesel.
I hate New Jersey.
We got to get out of Jersey, man. This makes me think they're like in Pittsburgh at this area, or like around Pennsylvania somewhere. Just like
that woman was abnormally calm. Again, holding an infant.
But see how like he dodged the way out. He didn't want to hit her, but they're about to ready to kill you. This guy's ripping the glass with his hands. These people would have ran that woman over, kept driving. How violent they are.
Very, very primal. Trying to peel the glass. I think I still would have used an elbow.
Yeah.
Trying to peel
At
it
that
back
point,
like
I'd be
that.
like, guys, you can take the car. Jeez, I just want to get my children out of there. Like, oh.
Ow. Yeah, ow.
Yeah, Rachel, you gotta start making some moves. You just be sitting there. Do you see me and your brother trying to take on 500 people? Here's the
That's where it
gun.
helps
And
out.
that's
The
when
gun.
it snaps people back into reality, being like, oh, I don't have that. But see how they're like, all right, man, put down the gun. Like, no one needs to get hurt. Like, you're ready to just kill these two people for having a car.
I don't think it's not to be yeah. I was gonna say not to nitpick, but I think people see that gun and they're seeing just as much of a resource as the
Mm-hmm.
car. And the second he's looking the other way, people are gonna try to disarm him.
But again, what you just said, close up on it. Here you go. Now he has the gun. Wait a minute. Yeah, can I get a coffee? After today, oh boy. Last 2 days, here you go.
Do you have huevos rancheros?
Right outside. The guy just picked up the gun, shoots him. There you go. Runs to him. And then they finally see some real actual emotion from their father they've never seen before. He's scared. Another 9/11 references. People that were missing when the towers fell.
Reference, or I hate to use the word, but inspiration. For a muse to create that sort of chaos in this
Mm-hmm.
scene. How can you even think of that unless you've
Yeah.
experienced it? It's got to come from a place of experience.
He's right. If there ever were a man, we got no shot.
And he's got the best sideburns in the film.
Yeah, seriously.
I think.
I was like, when I first saw this movie, I thought it was Jack Black. Just right there. He kind of looks like it. Oof.
All aboard.
Things going like 100 miles an hour, on fire. I love the song choice coming up here too. That they're playing on the loudspeaker. If I ruled the world. I'd be like, all right, guys.
Terrible song choice. Yeah.
Switch it up.
Who's trolling this situation
Yeah.
right now?
And then people giving blood. It's good to like those showing that little quick people giving blood for people as opposed to the scene right before when they were all ready to kill these people like they're primal, but there are some people that are still going to help give blood to people that need it, that are injured.
Well, it makes you wonder, and I think I know the answer, but in this instance, it's of course an extraterrestrial attack. But what kind of preparation and planning would any country, like the United States, as an example, have in the moment of utter chaos that strikes,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's through an attack or through a natural disaster at that scale? I don't think we'd be ready.
No,
I think you would have chaos.
100%. Something's coming.
It makes you really
It's a T-Rex.
respect something you never, at least in American, public schools, I feel like you don't get taught history very well.
No.
And
Not even close.
in our lifetime and our parents and our grandparents' lifetimes, they've never experienced our country being invaded. And you're alluding to, 9/11 and terrorist attacks, but if you imagine some of the countries around the world who have truly been invaded or attacked, what that must be like to try to live through that. This movie kind of provides a glimpse into something similar, I would imagine.
But again, once you see them, everyone's like, nice. Now it's chaos again. Cut them off. Get the ramp up. We're going. All those people are going to die. I don't care. We need to get out of here. Survival.
The aliens are always relative.
And Spielberg also wanted to do this movie too because he said it was the exact opposite of Close Encounters, where it's like Close Encounters, like you go with them, like they want to help you, like understand language in the universe. They're there to connect with you, and this is just like, no, like this is the exact opposite of that. That's Damien from Mean Girls. There's no more.
Thought I recognized him. There. Can't sit with us.
Yeah, can't. And in the script, there was a whole scene before he went home. In the opening, he went to the bar, and that's the supposed to be was the bartender at the bar. That's why she knows him. But you can remove it because it's like you don't really need this. Like you run into people all the time, like oh, like, but the other people don't know who that person is.
Yeah, you're right. This is pure terror, not like another movie that comes to mind is Arrival.
Again, completely different type of alien invasion. They're there to help you.
Yeah.
And the greatest weapon of all in that movie is language, because you can help.
Maybe one day, if you'll welcome me back, we can review that movie together.
Some Arrival. Again, you switch to handheld because it's now more chaos. Oof. Talk about a broken leg. You know what they always say? Whenever there's like something terrible happening, always look for the helpers. And Robbie's a helper.
He's a brave soul. He's seemingly always looking in this movie for ways to help others, like, which in that moment is not what folks are naturally going to think of.
His father's proud of him there. Because they were like, Robbie, what are you doing? Like, why aren't you paying? Why are you running away from us? Like, he's trying to help. That's when you're like, all right, we're fucked. They're underwater now too.
Yeah, that's horrifying.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, well, nowhere. Basically, it's like there's nowhere you can run. And it's probably like 25 degrees outside too. Like that water's gonna be, oof, going in there. Oof, imagine getting like crushed by the car there.
Oh wow, yeah.
It makes you get kind of hit. Oof. People in the car. So Spielberg on the set like messed with all the people in the water here. When they first got in, he put the Jaws music on loudspeaker. The Jaws theme.
Whatever it takes
Yeah. Just to mess with the
to
crew for
elicit
bit.
a true reaction.
Yeah. Like, oh no.
As a Boston native, I will say Jaws has forever changed my view of Cape Cod.
Cape Cod. Don't go in the water.
There's a lot of great white sharks in the Cape Cod area nowadays.
Don't go in the water. There's sharks in there, man.
Again, such a personal, weapon there. Going and individually scooping up.
But now they're not. Yeah, like now they're not. They weren't zapping them there. They're picking them up now.
Right. It's like the strategy here seems to be shifting. Are we harvesting or are we destroying?
Yeah. Both.
Act 1 was maybe
Act 1 is
invoke
just
terror.
cause the terror, and then once you get them all gathered in an area, you can grab. That'd be terrible. Imagine just like watching that. Yeah, and they're harvesting. And then this shot was always terrifying to me coming up right next. This one. People just running, and then they zap them there. So it looks like maybe some of the tripods gather, but some of them cause the chaos. The zapping. I mean, this is all green screen behind them. Just this set right here is all they had. Come there close again. And now again, I feel like you're at this point, you're just so exhausted, and like you'd see something in the distance like that, and you're just like still like just staring at it, but being like, whatever, like this is it. Like there's clearly a massive like battle going on up there, and everyone's just calmly walking. Like,
yeah, it is a bit of a juxtaposition of behavior versus
everyone's just
setting.
exhausted at this point. And here comes Robbie. Oh, there's the army, Robbie. Full on attack. And it's interesting, you have some people running like to attack as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're now running towards the danger. Even the army people are like, what are you guys doing? Like, again, at what point is the army considering just dropping nukes? You know?
Yeah, it's got to be, I would imagine, a tiered deployment strategy.
Mm-hmm. I think the score for this movie is really underrated. I mean, you can't go wrong with John Williams, but it's interesting. They're like actual him and his son's like very like The conversations they need to have are only when the army's there.
Mm-hmm.
And he finally said, "I love you," and he called him dad there.
Yeah, it's a moment of letting
Mm-hmm.
his son go or not.
And at this point, he's basically him. He has to choose between his son or his daughter right now. Is it let him go physically or let me be an adult dad? See, he has to make a decision now. You're losing one of them either way. But he finally got what he needed from his dad.
Mm-hmm.
His dad to listen to him. Knowing what happens at the very end of this movie, obviously, spoiler, people have seen this movie. I think it would have been way more effective if Robbie did not survive any of this. Because it's like, he obviously at the end he comes out.
Yeah.
But to me, it would have been more effective as in,
How do you survive this right here?
how do you how do you even survive this? um, he did give his son what he finally wanted, even though it was the wrong decision. But Spielberg always likes to end his movies sometimes hopeful, and he's a lot of like a family type of thing, like aspects of it. So it's like it makes sense why. And from a studio's perspective, they're like, no, Robbie needs to survive. I'm like, from you when you get those notes,
Yeah.
Here he is.
Talk about someone who knows how to escape critical situations.
Yes. He's like, don't worry, guys. I've done this before. You ever hear of Shawshank? We'll be fine down here. This
Just breaks the fourth wall.
This is his character from Shawshank. He's still in hiding. He's just been hiding in this basement the whole time.
Gosh, it's all the same universe. Is this a Marvel movie or?
Mm-hmm. And what I love that right there. And he pulls out a wheelbarrow, like a very early invention of anything. You're going back to the basics. Just the wheelbarrow.
I bought a wheelbarrow the other day.
You just wheel it around.
You know what I also realized when I was purchasing this wheelbarrow?
What?
That it's not a wheelbarrow with an L, but a wheelbarrow.
Well, I've been saying that wrong. I'm still gonna say it wrong.
I've been saying it wrong my entire life. 31
like
years old.
There's a lot of words we say wrong that we're just like, whatever, I don't really care.
Like Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah, Worcestershire.
Coming from Boston, by the way. Everything is pronounced differently than it reads.
Yeah.
There's no such thing of
Everyone has an accent.
phonetic spelling of anything.
Everyone has an accent. This is a good scene too. Like she's just saying, "Can you just sing me like basic, like I guess? I mean, I don't know these, but
I think they both realize, and she recognizes
like
she just lost her
sing me,
brother.
like, sing me a lullaby, yeah, like
Looking to him to be
the father."
Yeah.
But he still sings her a song. He's trying. Yeah, like in their minds, like their brother, his son and her brother, not alive anymore. And at this point, they don't even know if anyone else they know is alive. Mom could be dead. Stepdad could be dead.
Our generation or the next in that moment would be like 369. Damn, she's fine.
You need one of these, my friend. like like peppermint schnapps. like ugh, but I'll drink it. There's that backlight. Just unnatural light, but it always works.
Is that iconic of or
His like
characteristic of Spielberg?
Yeah, he always has like a really really strong backlight. Like look how like they're backlit like that. It's just spotlights like blasted on them. Like no lighting is like that in general. like
I'll have to look out for that during the next Spielberg film I watch.
I always point it out. People probably get annoyed that I always point it out. But
Your audience will forgive you.
yeah,
It's like an Easter egg for the next Spielberg
exactly.
film they
Just
they
as
take
even
in.
as the movie goes along, just like how they do this backlighting. Well, it's also I mentioned this before, but it's also easier to control like light too. Like when you're shooting inside, to just blast the windows with all light, so then you can shoot it at any time of the day. You don't have to worry about light coming in, anything. Like there's just one light. You can shoot this at 3 in the morning and make it look like it's 2 in the afternoon because the light doesn't change.
Certainly helps the bottom line of the film.
Yeah. And this is the second half of this
That's a
movie. It's an entirely different movie than what we just watched. That's what we're about to watch now they're just in this basement for essentially the rest of this movie.
and I love Tim Robinson's character where he represents almost this oracle
Mm-hmm.
of the circumstance, but in reality
He's telling him what's capped. Like, dude, like we're essentially dying. Like, there's no way out of this
yeah,
right
and
now.
and
Because he was like, please, my daughter. He's like, just think about it. Like he's basically saying what Tom Cruise is thinking, but he doesn't want him to say it out loud because it's basically saying there's no hope.
he's the pessimistic
Mm-hmm.
oracle.
Again, talking about survival.
And this is no different than a war against man and
Yeah.
maggots, or war between rather.
Dead set on living. What a line.
Get busy living
Dead set on living.
or get busy dying. That's another Shawshank reference
Mm-hmm.
for those of you who haven't seen that film. Go check it out. Do yourself a favor. Enjoy.
The Great Shawshank. I love that. Not going to be exterminated, and then that's when aliens are back.
Again, aliens being relative. Think about what we as a human race do to the world that we inhabit
Mm-hmm.
and the other creatures that share the planet. We do this to them. Don't
Mm-hmm.
blink an eye. Osaka. There's another Japan
Mm-hmm.
reference. Wow,
And
you're really blowing my mind
then
with these
yeah,
allusions
and
to
then that
other.
classic like American thing where he's like, "You're telling me they can do it, but we can't." Like that's how America. Like some people think the Americans can do it all. We can do everything, and we're the smartest. It's like, well, that's not true. like everybody is smart around the world. Like, but he's the quintessential like, no, like I'm. He's basically the hard ass.
There's the corruption.
Mm-hmm. Like he's just like,
With my single barrel
yeah,
shotgun.
taken by surprise the way they took us. It's like he thinks he can solve everything by himself, take on an entire alien race.
And that look of absolute terror now is
Yeah.
between him and man, not him and
Mm-hmm.
beast.
This basically has become survival between man versus man, not man versus alien. Lost leather jacket though. Gotta put it back on Tom. Yeah, I would not be sleeping down here.
I wouldn't have that man anywhere close to
Oh
my
no.
daughter
Yeah.
at this point.
Again, like you were saying, it's man versus man. Like he knows this dude. This dude's basically psycho.
The hood is up.
Mm-hmm.
Symbolic, in my
I
opinion.
love how he has the hood up, but his arms aren't through the sleeves. Just on his head. See? I mean, he just comes into this movie, what, an hour and 20 minutes in, Tim Robbins, and it's just like, boom, commands the screen. Kills
He's got
it.
the ring of power around his
Yeah.
neck. He's like, if I
Kills
put
it.
this ring on, I'll disappear.
Yeah.
Just like in the Two Towers.
He's Frodo. Here they come.
Tim Robinson's character is just unraveling here.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking
Well, that's how some people would
extremely
be.
loud.
People would be. They're
Look
just...
at that. What if you saw that?
At that point, you're like, I'm probably about to die
I'm
right
dead.
now. I'm probably about to die right now.
It's an interesting choice. You know, those lights on that camera just flickered on, which indicates that there's an electric circuit that's imperfect, which again, from the standpoint of technology, nitpicking, I would think that there wouldn't be any latency in their circuitry
Yeah.
of this equipment. Interested in the rat?
Mm-hmm. Never seen it before. And this is all like, this blocking is like, with the camera movements, is so good. Because you probably just have this like on like a tennis ball, like a cord, so they can get the eye lines of where it would be.
The camera?
Yeah, like they can get the eye lines of where that will be. Like if you have to look at the tennis ball, so it's not like they're like looking up in the air and the thing's down on the ground. Like when you're editing that together, like, wow, this looks awful. They're looking up in the air and the thing's on the ground. Like, so you'd have someone walking around with essentially like a tennis ball so they can get the eye lines. Two different people. He's trying to survive in this just by hiding from it. He's trying to survive by he's going to attack it.
It's a dichotomy of approach. It's a death sentence taking a swing at this thing.
Yep. But even for how tough he acts, he's still scared.
Fear will make a man do some pretty crazy things. Man or woman, for that matter. Fear is a powerful emotion, for better or for worse. I like the choice of making that alien technology like snake-like.
Mm-hmm. And then also right here, probably never seen like a mirror before. Like just little simple things. It's probably like, what is this? Is this me? It's probably just fascinated by it. For how much technology that they have. What if they don't even have mirrors? Like, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, there's like no. It's been what 4 minutes, no dialogue. The tension of like, that's all you need is attention. And I love how they like.
Choice is ditch the boot.
Yeah.
That's the choice there. Ditch the boot.
Mm-hmm.
A bit of ingenious decoy right there.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably want to go grab that boot though afterwards.
Yeah. That floor is probably very wet. Oof.
Would you mind lowering your weapon, sir? The barrel's
Yeah,
just
I don't
right in
think
the
we
back
need that
of
anymore.
Tom Cruise's head.
But I also love that like moment right there when she had the spider on her face. Like even in this moment, aliens are invading. You're still scared of a little spider on your face.
Oh, I don't care. I don't care what
Like,
alien invasion is happening.
yeah.
Get that spider
It's
off
like you're
my
still
face.
scared of a little spider. I think the aliens like once they brought that probe back up, they're probably like, a little weird down there. I think we should go investigate.
Yeah.
Some things were happening down there. And I also like how the aliens designed the tripods after their face. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, no, we need it to be looking like me, just very giant, just so that they know who we are.
Just imagine a giant Donald Trump head just
Jesus.
floating in the sky, spitting energy rays at people.
And there you go. Little foreshadowing there. The alien drinking water
Is it drinking water there?
right there. That's what eventually kills them. Again, it's like, what are we at now? 5, 6 minutes? No dialogue still. All tension.
Oh! Oh, I forgot about that part.
You just,
That was startling.
like, that would be terrifying. Oh my God. I love this one part coming up here. Because again, like they're moving around and just picking things up. Like they're just they're fascinated by like what are these objects? Like, oh, can he pick that thing up off the table? Like, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
For how advanced their technology is.
They're curious.
Yeah. They didn't invent that. That's good.
That was fantastic.
That's
right
good.
there.
Getting all like you don't need dialogue there. No, don't shoot it. Like you don't need anything. This is what I love here. Like that, because the invention of the wheel was what? How long ago humans did that? And like that alien is fascinated by like this. Like, yo, what is this? Just spins a little simple wheel. Like, I've never seen that before. They can create alien tripods and bury them on Earth, but they've never seen what a wheel is. Like,
Almost cute here, the two of them.
yeah. Looking at photographs, like, what are these? Great face acting by both them. They're having their own fight right now. Man versus man, while there's an alien, 2 aliens sitting 5 feet from them that would kill both of them. They're just so fascinated. Like, they don't even have photographs. They're so fascinated by it. Lunchtime.
There's 4 of them down there.
The boom actually came down in the shot prior. The boom mic came
The
down.
boom mic came down.
You
I
can see
missed
it,
that.
yeah. It's like right at his face, like this low. But it kind of looks like the gun handle, so it kind of like blends in a little bit. Tom's fighting 2 battles right now. An alien outside, and this guy he's got to freaking deal with in here. Imagine seeing that. Like, the thing is just growing.
They're spraying blood, and
Human blood. They think it's like fertilizer.
it's coagulating.
Like
It's spreading like vines and coagulating in place.
That was such a good facial expression. Just so terrified. It's such like a good contrast to like when they first met him. Like Tim Robbins' character was like, oh, he's the toughest guy in the world. He's got this. But he's actually so terrified. Oof. Shawshank again. Taking tunnels.
Andy Dufresne.
Yeah, Andy Dufresne.
Crawled through a river of shit.
And escaped the
Crawled
aliens.
through a mile of... God, I cannot even imagine.
Uh-oh.
Came out clean on the other side. That's my terrible Morgan Freeman impersonation, folks.
Listen, bro, if you don't shut up, I'm gonna have to like murder you right now. Like, which is interesting because like in the scene before the shot of after he's like, I don't think we're on the same page. Like Tom Cruise looked at Dakota Fanning.
He knows.
It made it seem like they both knew like we might have to deal with this guy.
Well, he looked.
This guy's gonna get us killed. Yeah, and he looked back there again, like she knows, like he's gonna have to do something here.
Well, it symbolically also is, he knows that everything he does now is to protect his daughter. He's a father.
Mm-hmm. And she knows what he needs to do. But again, he could be the one that's not going to come out in that fight. Because like in this scene, like right about what's about to happen, some people would be like, I want to see their fight. Like their executives would be like, we need to see them fighting. Like, no, it's more effective if you don't see them fighting, and you're just watching her, and you just hear the sound. Stands in the darkness, the silhouette. I'm coming.
That silhouette shot was excellent.
Yeah. So like I'm sure an executive like, well, we need to see like no. It's way more effective if you just hear it and you show the child.
It's like Upham in Saving Private Ryan.
Did he come out on top?
It's a great shot of thirds there.
Mm-hmm. Play it off like he didn't. Who knows who it is?
She knows.
This is the first time she ever really like kind of goes to him for comfort. It was always Robbie.
There's empathy in her action there too. She represents maturity and almost clairvoyance.
Mm-hmm.
And love.
This would be terrifying. What's about to happen right now? you hear is like a noise. And then boom.
Ooh.
Aliens in the ship. See, I told you there was someone down there. Again, also like their most effective technology can be killed like that. Just a simple axe can destroy this thing. You'd think that they would build that so nothing can destroy that probe. You need to build more sets like this too. This would now be all like blue screen on a soundstage, like this entire set.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, like it looks like, that doesn't look like natural, but I feel like movies just don't do this anymore because they just don't want to spend the money. Because the back is just all like a matte painting, probably like old school filmmaking. Like right here, like this would be all green screen. Imagine seeing that. All just human blood harvesting. You rang. I love this right here. It's like, his little thing, his little hand going up. Same shot as before. The ball.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier in the movie, right there. Same. I always love this shot right here. Oof. It finally got them. It's also like here, like the alien doesn't even care about Tom anymore. Like, so he has to like find a way to get in there now.
Mm-hmm.
He's being the father.
Well, do the aliens value the innocence of a child in some way, and thus they want to harvest her?
Hey, dude, you forgot me. Oh yeah, you. What's up, dude? Damn, imagine just like landing in here. There's a bunch of people already in here. Because you could probably squeeze through those, but obviously you're gonna fall to your death. She's in shock. Hey, it's me. Mm. That's terrifying. Oh, it's like if you got like put on the other one though. Like,
Yeah, so close and
yeah.
yet so far away.
She's in shock. And she snaps out of it. Same shot they just did. Wow, you guys really let Tom be the victim there.
Now again, a hero there trying to save him.
Mm-hmm.
Presumably, a soldier.
Mm-hmm. And now the people are helping. They were scared before. It just takes one person.
You see almost the alien language there, the hieroglyphics on the side.
Damn. Kill shot. I was lucky. Dude, imagine getting, like, you got out of it, but then you just get impaled by a branch. That would suck. I love the look she gives here, too. like, uh, like, yeah. Holy shit. Dude, you're home. Welcome to Boston.
Shipping up to Boston. I live right on that highway.
Right
Truly.
Really? That's great. And this is the first time you kind of see, like, birds are back again. And here's your hope of Paul Revere.
Or some patriot. Is that Paul?
I would think so, because I was in Boston. The British are coming. Your symbol of survival then, 1700s. And I guess this is when people, like, think this movie kind of falls, is that the aliens, like, they died because of water, like the organisms, which would make sense. It's like it's a different species. Like, they probably don't realize that there's organisms in the water that are killing them.
Is that the presumed?
Yeah, because at the very end, it starts with the organisms in the opening, and then Morgan Freeman narrates at the end that, like, essentially the organisms are what killed them. Even the smallest thing is capable of survival. Like some organism in the water is capable of survival. Because that's life.
That's hubris. Essentially a incredible alien hangover happening
like,
right here.
Whoa, dude. We went way too hard last night. There's just like a giant alien bar. And they're like the birds survived.
They also represent the force field being down.
Yep.
Now there you go. Look at the birds.
Look at the birds.
Fire at will.
Yeah. He's like, what? Oh, yeah, you're right. He's like, oh, yeah. Thanks, random civilian. Dude had a bad hangover last night. Forgot to turn the shields on.
Great shot.
Great shot. And here's her like, essentially she has like PTSD at this point. Imagine like after this, like how would society even like begin again?
Therapy.
Like especially as a child, like kill shots. That would suck if you're one of those people. They just died right
You made it all that way.
there. Yeah, just right then is when you died. He said, "I love you" to her for the first time, right there. Again, after all that, you're still fascinated by it. You walk towards it. These things just killed probably billions of people. Gross. Ugh. A little hand. No survival for them. Damn. It's like they freeze. Boston doesn't look like they got hit that bad. She looks like it's pretty fine.
Brownstone's held up.
Yeah. He's like, listen, if you just saw what I had to do to get here. And you have the contrast of the son eventually coming out, but running to his father. Not even going to vitamins out yet. Fun fact, those are the original two leads in the 50s World of Worlds. Played the grandparents.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's a fun ode to the original.
Spielberg brought them back just for that, so they could be in it.
Robbie
he runs
survived.
to his father. But I understand why they have him survive. Like it makes his character more complete. Tom's hugs his son, and his son hugs him back. This is a family movie.
Just a family fun movie, folks.
A nice G-rated family movie. I guess Boston did get hit pretty hard.
Zachem
Maybe
Bridge
just that
there.
one area didn't get hit hard. Yeah, basically, he tells you right here that it was the water. They killed them. The organisms in the water. The organisms in the air. They weren't prepared for that. Life, it's like Jurassic Park. Life finds a way. A billion. Damn. tiniest little things. I love how this fades to like stars from that little organism.
A universe within a
Directed
universe.
by Steven Spielberg.
Such a fun time. This movie's always a
great.
good time taken in. Makes you think a lot. It's exciting.
Thanks for coming on here. Thanks for flying out here to do this.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks so much for having me. Hope we can do it again sometime soon.
This podcast is hosted and edited by Pat Brennan. That's me, with intro and closing music by Patrick Baxter.